All right, welcome everybody. It looks like we're live. Shalom, peace, and good day. Put this in the holder here so I don't have to hang on to it. All right, it is starting to rain again. We've been raining on and off all day today. We need it so bad. So happy. Grass got greener just by 24 hours of rain. So anyway, hope you're all doing well. Hope everyone had a wonderful Sunday. It was nice here. Temperature's nice and then nice. Finally got rain. It was from May 15th to June 15th. That was the driest since the early 1800s in Minnesota. It's never been that dry for 100 and something years. So, or about 100 years. So anyway, grass and plants are loving it. I'm loving it. I'm sure the farmers are happy because that wasn't good. Of course, I was watering my garden with the hose, and I'm so glad I don't live in the city off well water because it would have been expensive to be trying to keep up on city water. That's another plus of living out in the country is that you have your own well. You drink out of your own well. You water your garden out of your own well. You're not poisoned, and you are not charged a monthly bill. All right, let me pull this up. So as you can see by the title, since we finished the 12 Olympian gods tonight, we're going to compare the 12 Olympian gods to the Roman gods, which we kind of did when we started this. I am pulling up my channel right now. Excuse me. And there we go. And I love laying in bed listening to the rain. Wake up in the morning, the windows are open, you just listen to the rain. Or at night when you go to bed. Very nice. Comparing Roman gods to the 12 Olympian gods. All right. There we go. Up and running. So anyway, hope you all had a nice day between the in the breaks in rain. It stopped a few times today. I tried to work out my garden, and it was I got chewed up by mosquitoes even just a little bit ago. So tomorrow is going to be sunny, and I could see my grass grew already, and I just can't wait to get back on the lawnmower and cut some more. One of my favorite things to do. And the grass is happy, plants are happy. It's about time. Not sure what that little drought was about, but I'm happy that it's raining. Anyway, I have up to 12 gods. That's what we're going to do tonight. I was going to you just have an open chat, but this is one thing I wanted to do at the end of the 12 Olympian gods was to once again go back over and point them out, which they have become Roman gods, and because we got more to do after that. Because next after this, we're going to just show how the Roman gods. And well, actually, I like the Roman Catholic Church, and the basically has quite a large influence over the world, and so does including lots of things, names of things, times, months, dates, all that stuff. I was reading something today, and okay, I was reading something today, and but no one knows that day or hour. The rapture date centers, end of the world date centers, they like to use that line against the person who calls them out. So if somebody's saying, "Oh, I know it's going to be the third quarter of this year," and blah blah blah, and somebody says, "Well, nobody knows that day or hour," because that's actually quoting Jesus's own words, and then they're going to attack that person, and they're going to say, "Ah, oh, but we know the time and all this other stuff." Well, I was reading something today, and it was kind of funny. It brought up Acts 1:7, and that confirms here. Let me see. I'll bring it up. 1. Well, that's when Peter, like Jesus is about to take off and ascend into heaven, on that Mount Ascension or whatever. You can see it to this day over there. There's the trap over there. But Peter asks, "Oh, Lord, when are you going to restore the kingdom to Israel?" You know what I mean? Because, that's what the Messiah is supposed to do. Okay? Well, greetings, salutations to you too, Grace. Good to see you tonight. I hope you're feeling well and hope all is good in Graceland. Hope you had a great day. But yeah, so Peter asked, "Lord, yeah, you're leaving for a second time now. And you still haven't restored the kingdom of heaven. What's up with that?" And he says, none your business. Well, not in exact words, but I'm going to show you something that Jesus said in the book of Acts, according to Luke in the book of Acts. I'll even pull up the King James Version for those, sticklers. Oh, it was funny. Speaking of, I'll bring that up in a second. Hold on a second. I just watched a little video, and I just talked to Grace about something, and about how somebody was trying to pitch the Mandela Effect Bible changes to NYSTV John Pounders when he was a guest on their show, and John Pounders wasn't having it at all. He's not going there on the Mandela Effect. He poo-pooed it, shot it, everything down, and it was kind of cringeworthy a little bit. And I don't know. I guess so. During the week so far, there was I don't know. Somehow, Mandela Effect Bible Change guy is stewing a little bit, and he just came out with a video. I'm going to show you. I gotta finish what I'm saying here, though. Like I said, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, hold on a second. First, I want to show you something. So remember, Jesus says, "Of that day, no one knows that day or hour, but rapture date setters, they don't like that. Ooh, makes them mad. They want to change it. I know a prophet that claims to know the exact day and time of his return. Till that day and time comes and goes, and then he will quote the same verse, that same verse. No one knows that day or hour." Yep. YouTube prophets are just wicked people that want attention and really don't care anything about God or the Bible or anything. And they've got no remorse. I don't care about nothing except getting attention. All right, so so right away in Acts 1, it says, so Peter, this is Peter asking Jesus, like before he left, he says, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, when will the time, when at this time, when will you restore the kingdom to Israel? And he said to them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons. Ooh, burn. Remember they always say, oh, but we will know the season. Well, it says right here, it's not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father has put in his own power. All right? You do not know the times or the seasons. Hope nobody got seasick there. Yeah, a ministry of selfishness. That's what it is. Egotistical people who want attention. Look at me, look at me. And they're always seeing how they look in the camera. Because this rapture stuff does get people excited. But when you fail over and over and over, your channel, there's nobody left, and then they turn around and blame everybody because there's nobody left on their channel. Well, yeah. Even the slow ones figure it out after a while. Oh, shut that off or it's going to explode. That's right. Take out the whole area here. I love that sound of the rain. Finally, Grace, we got rain here. Grace, did you know I watched I pulled up a weather thing on Channel 11 Care News for Twin Cities. And I pulled up the weather thing yesterday when we had storms and all that weather. Anyway, it said that or maybe it's WCCO with Amelia Santinella and her husband, Frank Santinella or whatever. Vassalero or Vassal, whatever. But yeah, they came on yesterday about the severe weather, but there was a note down in the pinned in the description box. It said that it hasn't from May 15th to June 15th was the driest span since 1830 something or whatever. Like 100 years, it's not been that dry. And that's right at planting season, you know. That's when everybody plants, June 1st. Well, the weekend leading up to June 1st at the end of May. And so anyway, that like 100 years it hasn't been that dry. Anyway, so my grass is happy. Plants are happy. And I'm happy. All right. All right. So I was going to just kind of slow down on live streams or go at a different time or, I don't know, change something. And I don't know. But somebody said that maybe I should wait and just keep doing this and So anyway, I'm gonna just keep coming on every night and just see how it goes. Really had no idea it'd been that dry. Haven't noticed, but then we watered daily. Oh, I mean, things are crispy here. You know, there's one spot in around my garden where the grass is usually beautiful. There's one area, and it's kind of funny. It's between all the fruit trees. I think the fruit trees took all the moisture because the grass is gone and there's only weeds. Never seen nothing like it. Bizarre. Anyway, yeah, it had been 100 years since it has been this dry. So I'm super happy about the rain. Yep. I yeah, I water my garden every day with the hose. But as a matter of fact, they had some guy on there that runs a greenhouse down in St. Paul. And yeah, they're using the hose quite a bit, trying to get on them, keep them plants looking nice for sale. Some plant shop sells trees and bushes and all that stuff. Some very expensive, high end shop, probably. Well, you know the areas. Grand Summit or Highland Park, one of those. All right, there it is. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do because after the Roman. Oh, I was going to show you the video I just watched. After the we compared the Roman gods tonight to the 12 Olympians gods. Then we're gonna go over like other things. I think I already mentioned that. You got a new neighbor, an annoying new neighbor that a Minnesota gopher is shredding up the yard. You have a gopher? Huh. Yeah. It's just like Caddyshack. You're gonna have to get some sticks of dynamite, a golf cart, and some other stuff. You have to watch the movie again. They're hard to get rid of. You may have to get a hold of Bill Murray himself. As a matter of fact, Bill Murray used to own our B League baseball team. What was it? Minnesota Saints. Yeah, Bill Murray owned the Minnesota Saints. I don't know if he still does he, Grace? Anyway, yeah, he owned our Minnesota Saints. Let me see. St. Paul Saints or whatever. It's the it's the minor league or whatever. Minnesota Saints. I think does he still own? He's getting older now. Maybe the Minnesota Saints. Bill Murray. Isn't that who owned it? Oh, he said goodbye in 2022. Oh, he just sold it. The St. Paul Saints and owner Bill Murray are working. The pig name has a Bill Murray connection. Yeah, they got a pig there too. I think they let him run wild or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, so Bill Murray has owned our minor league. I'll show you. He makes me laugh. This guy is funny. You know what my favorite movie of his was? What About Bob? That was my favorite movie of his. Anyway, and I like Caddyshack too. But yeah, so he has owned the St. Paul Saints in our minor league. Yeah, he owned our. It's so weird, you guys. We have like we had oh, you know what? You know what's weird? Is also Saturday Night. He's used to be on Saturday Night Live. Well, so was Al Franken. He was on Saturday Night Live, and he was our Al Franken used to be our senator. And Ace Ventura. I mean, no, what's his name? Jesse Ventura. Maybe Ace Ventura too. I don't know. But hey, Patrick, good to see you. Jesse Ventura was our governor. So we've had kind of some celebrities in a little Minnesota. But yeah, he I don't know, he might have sold it. He might have sold them. He's funny. He amuses fans. Bill Murray amuses fans at the St. Paul games. And I think he's getting older. He's probably getting older. I don't know why he likes St. Paul. What drew him there? Never really heard the story. But excuse me. Wow. There's a young Bill Murray there. Anyway, it's kind of funny. I don't know if did he just sell it? I don't know. Didn't Franklin do comedy somewhere else too, at a dinner show or something? Al Franken? Yeah, after Saturday Night Live, yeah, he probably had some gig. Good to see you tonight, Patrick. I hope you had a great day. I hope all is well. I gotta look on the big screen so I can see you guys' comments. Years ago, Gopher ate through the plastic lining of our backyard swimming pool. Oh, really? Yeah, that's expensive. Yeah. One time, my dog fell in my brother's pool at a party one time, and he was trying to get out, and he was scraping up their lining, and I think he poked on it. Or she, I should say. Good to see you tonight, Patrick. Hope you had an awesome Sunday. Shalom to you, too. Didn't Franklin do comedy somewhere else, too, at a dinner show or something? Yeah, I'm sure he got some gig after Saturday Night Live. Bill Murray visited our golf park and was really funny. Really, yeah. He just looks really funny. I liked Caddyshack, but I really liked What About Bob? That was a funny movie. Anyway, good to see you too, Patrick. Hope all is well. Yeah. Yeah, Al Franklin did and he also did Stuart Smalley. And he also, remember, he had a movie. Stuart Smalley does something. Anyway, Stuart Smalley, I think, had a movie. Spin-off stuff off of Saturday Night Live. I think they pretty much all did. Yeah, good to see you too. Yeah, so we've had a few celebrities here in Minnesota. Oh, speaking of celebrities in Minnesota, so Taylor Swift was in St. Paul all weekend at the at that new demon-looking building. What is TCF building or whatever, the stadium that they just built. My son helped do the steps there. But anyway, so Taylor Swift was there Friday night and Saturday night, just kind of they just kind of plugged up all the traffic in St. Paul. But anyway, today I guess the First Lady of the United States was there. What is she? The FOTUS, or wait, First Lady of the United States? Lotus. Or FLOTUS? Yeah, she'd be the FLOTUS. So I guess she was in Minnesota today. So the Twin Cities had a lot of traffic this weekend with celebrities and the First Lady. My brother took Kitten for a late night walk, and this time they had a baby opossum running towards him, hissing at them. Apparently, the adult possum had pups. Oh yeah, this springtime. That's what the vet told me when my dog got poked with porcupines. The porcupine shot quills into my dog's face, into his mouth, and it was his snout and stuff, and his nose. Anyway, I asked the vet, like, how common is this? Because we live way up north, way up in the we live out in the wilderness here, so this is wild animal country. She said this is actually very common, and especially happens in the springtime. That's where a lot of attacks happen in the springtime. Why? Because the mama's got the babies, and you don't mess with the mama and her babies, especially like a bear cub. You'll be standing if you're not paying attention. You could be just standing and then look around and there's a bear. And little do you know that the baby bear is behind you, and you are standing in the way of the mama and the bear, and that's when people get killed. They unwillingly get between the mama and the baby without paying attention. But springtime, it can be yeah, hissing, huh? Yeah. Yeah, my dog Caleb keeps trying to go back. I got a little abandoned house on my property and some other buildings, and I don't know if there's something living in there or what, but Caleb keeps trying to go back over there. Do not want another dog getting attacked either by a raccoon or a porcupine or whatever, bear. Anyway, so I'm keeping a lot closer eye on everybody when we're out of the caged area. Most of the time we're in the fenced in area, but sometimes we're not. But anyway, I'm glad nobody got attacked by the opossum. Some people call them possums, and some people call it opossum. It's the same thing, right? A possum and an opossum, right? All right, so that's the plan, Stan. We're just going to compare those 12 Olympian gods that we just went through. I think it took 2 weeks to go through 12 Olympian gods. Excuse me. And now we're just going to match them up with their Roman counterparts, and then we're going to go from there to show how they've influenced, starting, I think tomorrow night we'll show how the Roman gods have influenced everything around us, many things around us. Huh. Yep. Grace said, my brother hissed at the baby possum and it turned away. It gave my brother and kitten time to turn around and avoid any sign of a parent opossum. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that was some pretty quick thinking by your brother. Hiss at him. It came up in my feed. Excuse me. It came up in my feed. What to do if you're ever attacked by a dog? If a dog charges you, and it was just like hold your hand up and say no, like loud. Possum is north. Possum is south. I don't know the difference other than that. Oh, huh. Huh. Yeah. Well, they both hang by their tails. And doesn't a possum play dead all the time? They look like they're completely dead. And you say, oh, they're dead. And then you walk away and they get up and run like a good actor. Oh, man. I could use those for movies, you know what I mean? They look and act the same to me. Yeah, probably are. Maybe up here, the Irish people, they saw a possum and they said, oh, possum. Like, Irish people put an O in front of stuff. Maybe the Irish people turned the possum into opossum. All right, that sounds logical. So we're going to get into some things after tonight. Like I said, connections to all these Roman gods. Many, many things in our everyday lives are connected to Roman gods. We're going to go over that this week. Nice Sunday. Oh, it's June 25th, 2023, 10:15 p.m. I forgot to say the date and time. But I do really like the rain coming down. Where's Sandra? She can tell us it's a Southern Belle thing. Because, well, they took the O off, right? Sandra and the Southern folks, they removed the O. Yes, I wonder if she's got possums in Texas. I will bet she does. You know what I know they think they got? I think they got armadillos. Look like a giant beetle. Yes, where is Sandra? All right, but she has been busy. She's having a good time with her family and vacation, all kinds of good stuff. And she even visited a cabin in the woods, a real cabin in the woods, not a little shack in downtown. All right, man, that sounds beautiful. Missed the rain, that's for sure. It's been quite a dry spell. All right, you know what I was, I was trying to figure out. I was looking up. I gotta shut some of these tabs. I forgot I had those open. So I'm gonna pull up some tabs here. So I was looking into that guy. You guys, So I was looking into that guy. I forgot his name. His initials are RW, but I can't think of his name. Anyway, I think it is the guy who wrote the book, 88 Reasons Why the Rapture Will Happen in 1988. Then after that, he said, he came out with a second book when it didn't happen. Right after that, it was called Still in Limbo or something like that, Hanging On or something. I can't remember. Then I don't know, he disappeared and died. Anyway, so guess who the guy was? Guess who the guy was? He worked for NASA. He was a spaceship engineer. Yeah, definitely in the club. Anyway, yeah, that's where he worked. A real cabin in the woods. I bet she had a lot of laundry to catch up on too. Yes, because I guess if you have a cabin in the woods, and brand new washing machines, you still have to go to laundromat. It's the weirdest thing. And Grace, did you know that the 144,000 are actually 288,000? Who knew? But Mark learned that from Jim Jones. I mean Leland Jones. All right. So let's do this. Yeah, that's kind of. Move my chair a little bit over. Move, buddy. Somebody's got to move here. I can't pull up because I got to get close enough where I can read this. Yep, she was in a real cabin in the woods on vacation. Something weird was going on in that bunkhouse, I'll tell you that. All right. So let's head on over here. I wish I knew how to put this back to a white background in black letters. Because one day I was outside, and this was like 2 years ago. I went outside, and I came back, and my cat had walked on the keyboard, and I don't know what he did, but it's changed into this. And I don't know how. I've tried and looked and like trying to get it back to where it was, and I don't know. Went into settings, went everywhere. Anyway, don't know how to redo it. I don't like this dark like this with the white letters. You can't even put it on here. But it doesn't even, anyway. And I don't like reading it like this. But anyway, it's been a couple years and I don't know how to get it off. So, dumb cat. Just throw him back on the keyboard and maybe see if you can undo it. He's done a lot of things like that. Usually turns it on airplane mode, all kinds of stuff. All right. So it might be blurry. I'll read it. So anyway, Greek gods. Are Roman gods and Greek are Roman gods the same as Greek gods? Greek and Roman mythology share many of the same gods and goddesses in their stories, but most often the names are different. It can be difficult to keep straight who is who when referring to them with either their Greek or Roman names. So we're going to kind of make it a little bit easier. Let's see. Or just some questions real quick before we get into the visuals here. Why did Romans change Greek gods' names? When Romans recognized similar pantheons in foreign lands, they often hybridized, made them into hybrids, the names and their stories, adding or adapting them to their own. So they liked the Olympian gods, but they, tweaked it a little bit to make it fit in their culture and their times and stuff. So just like anybody does, with all kinds of stuff, beliefs like this, or even religion. You know what I mean? The Greeks shared a similar pantheon, and the Romans recognized this. The Romans did not change the names of the Greek deities after adopting them. So who's older, the Greek or the Roman? Ancient history includes the recorded Greek history beginning about 776 BC, First Olympiad. This coincides roughly with the traditional date of the founding of Rome in 753. Is that a coincidence? And that's 753 BC, by the way. And the beginning of the history of Rome. So, did their Roman gods copy the Greek gods? Well, Roman mythology also draws directly on Greek mythology, so yes. In short, yes. Potentially as early as Rome's proto-history, but primarily during the Hellenistic period of the Greek influence and through the Roman conquest of Greece via the artistic imitation of Greek literary models by Roman authors. So let's move over to I can probably pull this up. I don't know why they keep giving me car ads. I definitely don't need another car vehicle. I don't know why they're blocking all my stuff with this stupid car ads. Roman gods versus Greek gods. Know the difference. Yes, you must know. All right. If there's a Greek god, there will be a Roman counterpart. This is, again, from the theology.com site that I've been using. If there's a Greek god, there will be a Roman counterpart. While Roman gods and Greek gods share the same powers and responsibilities, they have many differences. Greek gods predated Roman gods. The first major difference between Roman gods and Greek gods is the time period. Greek, isn't that weird? When I put my mouse here, it covers up the word Greek gods. That's weird, but nothing else. Isn't that weird? Weird. Huh. All right. The first major difference between Roman gods and Greek gods is the time period. Greek mythology predates Roman mythology over 1,000 years. Olympian gods came way before the Roman gods. That's why they copied them. For example, Homer's The Iliad was written 700 years before Roman civilization came into formation. And I think this is a play that they had 700 years. Now Homer versus Virgil. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to show. Oh, so just to show. So I was going to use this for a thumbnail, but I'm not sure if I can. Anyway, so they're worshiping the same god. They're just calling them different names. The Romans call him Jupiter, and the Greeks calls him Zeus. Now, we'll just back up and show you this chart real quick. These are the 12 gods that we just went over, these 12 Roman gods. Hera, Aphrodite, Artemis, Athena, Demeter, Hestia, Zeus, Apollon, Ares, Hephaestus, Hermes, and Poseidon. We just went over each one of these. Now here's the Roman counterpart. So to Hera, you have Juno. Roman counterpart is Juno. And if you look at these Roman gods, you'll see planets in here. Venus, Jupiter, Apollo, that's your space mission, Mars, Mercury, Neptune. Anyway, Hera, the Greek god Hera, is Romans called Hera Juno. And that was a chief goddess. I mean, it was a girl god, actually. Hera is a girl god. So Romans called her Juno. And that was the chief goddess of marriage. And I think we just went over that one like the second to last one we did. It was the last couple ones we did was this one here. It was the last one of the time before that. Just went over her. And yeah, she was the goddess of the home and the marriage and all that. So that was Juno, the goddess. And then we have Aphrodite, and the Romans named her Venus. There's also the planet Venus is a female, and she is the goddess of beauty. Next we have Artemis, and her counterpart. Well, hey John, how you doing tonight? Good to see you. Hope you had a great Sunday. Welcome. So Aphrodite, the Roman counterpart is Venus. She is the goddess of beauty. That's funny. That is fun. You know what? You know what's funny? But yeah, it's also other stuff. It's also like sex and stuff. Good to see you, John. Because you have your aphrodisiac, you know what I mean? Anyway, Artemis, named Diana by the Romans, and she was the goddess of hunting. And they also had other things that they were goddesses of and gods of, but mainly of hunting. Athena was a goddess called Minerva in Rome, and that's a goddess of wisdom. Demeter was renamed Ceres or Ceres. What if those beings are the Hebrew Elohim? Probably, John. There are definitely multiple gods in the Old Testament, and really there's multiple Jesuses in the New Testament, but there's multiple different gods in the Old Testament, definitely, and different sources. The Yahweh has one source, the Elohim has another source, the Deuteronomy has another source, the Levites have another source, or whatever, Levitical. There's a smorgasbord of gods, different gods in the Old Testament, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely different ones. Minerva, and then Demeter, Ceres, goddess of the harvest and nature. Hestia, Romans called her Vesta, and she was the goddess of the hearth, which is the fireplace, keeping the fire going. And by the way, this Hestia Vesta, she had the ever-bearing, because she kept the fireplace going, which is an important job. She was a goddess of the fireplace and the fire, and she carried a torch, and made sure it never went out. There's your Olympic torch there. Made sure it never went out. That's right out of the Olympics with the Olympian gods. Go figure, right? Zeus. Well, the Romans called Zeus, and that was the king of the gods, and that was Romans called him Jupiter, and that's chief god, sky and air. So it's like the main god. Then you had Apollon, which was also called Apollo, which I think is funny because in the book of Revelation, remember, the beast or whatever it is going to be called Apollo, or in the Greek, Apollyon. Remember this? And you know what? Wow, this just blew my mind. Guess what? This really, you know what? This gives a whole new meaning to that verse. Gives a whole new meaning to that verse. You know why? I gotta make a note of that. My mind just got blown. In the book of Revelation, it says in the Greek, his name, the beast or whatever is going to be named Apollo, and in the Greek it's called Apollon. Well, what's that beast the god of? God of poetry, music, and sun, which is actually, a sun god, but also god of music and poetry. Isn't that something? So this is how they're going to conquer. This is how the beast is going to conquer everybody, by sun worship, music, and poetry. Which is that spot on or not? That's how they've really taken over the world, by sun worship, music, and writings, poetry. You know what I mean? Songs. And then in the Greek, you have Ares, and the Romans named him Mars, another planet, and he's the god of war. And then you have Hephaestus, and then the Romans named him Vulcan, and he's the god of the blacksmiths. But actually, that one we just did a couple days ago. Hermes, the Romans renamed him Mercury, another planet name, and he's a messenger of the gods. Remember, he's got that. You know who this was? The FTD floral guy. He's got the wings on his shoes, and he's got the helmet with the wings or whatever. Well, guess who made that? This guy right up above him. Hephaestus is the one who made his shoes with wings and his helmet. This guy here, the blacksmith guy. In fact, this Hephaestus, this Vulcan guy, he made the costumes for all these gods. You know what I mean? Basically, if you could pound it out in metal, this is who made it. And Poseidon is obviously the god of the sea, and renamed to Neptune, which is another planet, and that is what the Romans named him. So that is a comparison. We bought our last house in the winter and didn't realize it had a huge swimming pool. Really? The previous owners left a 6-foot statue of Diana behind that stood by the swimming pool. They eventually came back for it, which was fine. I didn't want it. They also left a huge 5-tier water fountain. I kept that. It was beautiful. Really? You know what's funny? I wonder if that's the same house, because I know somebody who moved, and this was so weird, you guys. It's such a long story. I won't even get into it. The same thing. Ended up with the Poseidon. He had a giant he had a room in his house. The guy had he had I can't remember. He didn't hit the lottery, but he invented something. He had an invention and he instantly got rich off it. And the guy was really weird and he had a lot of conspiracy theories. And back then I didn't know anything about conspiracy theories, so I thought it was all weird. But anyway, the guy anyway, because of his invention or something, the government like put him in prison, and I don't know, you just never heard from him again. But anyway, his son, before they took the house and everything, his son went and grabbed stuff, and one of it was a concrete statue of Poseidon, and ended up at my house, and one of them hurt their ankle carrying this thing. Inventing stuff is, I know, John. I had some inventions. I had a couple inventions, and the invention company stole my ideas. I paid them, and they stole my ideas. Yeah, I had, I don't know, 3 or 4 inventions that I submitted, and they stole every one of them. When anyway, I'm trying to skim through these without hitting them too hard. Yeah, just be careful who you tell. Yeah. Well, yeah, we actually had to pay the invention company, and we paid them. I remember to this day it was $775 because we had to borrow that money from, which today would be like thousands. I mean, this was in, I don't know, early '80s, and so we had to borrow the money from my mother-in-law. We had to pay that back forever. Anyway, they ended up stealing our ideas. Here we see our ideas in the store. You know what I mean? Um, all right. Let's see. Let's see if I want to pull anything else up here. Let's put a thumbnail on last night, or a few days ago. All right. So yeah. So now we're going to be going over, starting tomorrow, I think. Be going over the influence. Well, actually, there's influence. There's also influence from Greek gods in our society, but mostly Romans gods, because Rome. What was the Rome's motto? In this sign, in this cross, the symbol of the cross, we will conquer. That's what the INRI above Jesus' head. It says INRI. That is not Isus Hisamada or whatever. It stands for in this symbol we will conquer. And Rome did. They said, oh, it was the fall of Rome. No, they didn't fall nothing. Are you kidding? They're running the world right now. The Catholic Church, the Jesuits, all that. Isn't Bethor another powerful Olympian spirit? Bethor? I have to look. Well, we went over the top 12, so maybe he's on the next tier. Like on American Idol, he was one of the runner-ups. Let me see. Bethor? Maybe he's got another name. Oh, there's a Bethor's potion. Look at that. There's a Bethor's potion. Oh, you know what? I think that's where the word betrothed comes from. Married, betrothed. Maybe. Betheron. Let me see. Olympian spirits. So yeah, Bethor, the alchemist who commanded 17,640,000 spirits. Bether, who commanded 29,000. Okay, so he commanded 29,000. Anthron commanded 17 million, and Bethor commanded 29,000 spirits. Oh, wow. Look at this, John. I'm going to pull this up. Check this out. This open a whole can of worms here. Look at it. Yeah, so there are. So I think Bethor is associated with Jupiter. Well, so it looks like, because I didn't know this, there's 7 stewards of heaven. 7 stewards of heaven according to the 16th century. Well, that's 1600s. That's way later. But this is probably what they're doing right now. 17th century magical ritual system. Arbitel, that was the first one. These are the spirits through whom God governs the world. They are known as Olympian spirits, and they govern the Olympian spheres. They are composed of 196 regions. Their names in the Olympian language are Eretron, the celestial spirit of Saturn, whose day is Saturday. In fact, this is what we're going to be going over, as a matter of fact. The origins of the days of the week, the origins of the months. And what is that? From the Gregorian calendar. Yes, the Roman Pope Gregory. And you know what like I said, I think is very interesting is what was the prophecy back in the Old Testament, Jeremiah, whatever. They're going to think, or Daniel, whatever it was, they're going to change the times and the seasons. And that's exactly what they did. They're changing the times. I'm sorry, they're going to change the laws and the times. And that's exactly what they did. The New Testament got rid of the laws, changed all the laws, and then they had the Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar. They were changing the times and they're changing the laws. That's exactly that. So that's prophecy fulfilled. But if people want to look out their window and wait for Daniel's prophecy to come true, that's fine too. So their names in Olympian language are Bether, angel of Jupiter, whose day is Monday; Phaleg, prince of Mars, whose day is Tuesday; Oak, master's sun, is Sunday. And this is what we'll be going over actually this week. Ophiel, spirit of Mercury, who's to be invoked on Wednesday. Fool. That's probably where they get the word fool, the name fool, Phul, fool. The administrator of affairs in the moon. Well, there you go. Whose day is Monday, moon day. Each of the 7 celestial spirits may be invoked by magicians with the aid of ceremonies and preparations. You know, it's weird. I was just listening today of something. I can't remember what it is. But there's like ancient ruins. Well, we all know there's ancient ruins of gods everywhere. Greek gods. You go all over the world, you'll see ancient ruins of, where they worshipped. They would go to sacrifice their children or their animals or whatever, and worship these gods and these statues or whatever. And there's proof of that all over the place. But yeah, so Bator, Jupiter. Let me see. Bator, where is that? Right here. Yes, Bator is the angel of Jupiter. Yes. But Bathor is the angel of Jupiter. Yeah, because this all ties together. And so, like I said, you can open the whole can of worms, and you'll see how how everything's been influenced by Greek and Roman, Greco-Roman influences everywhere. All right, here it is. So, so yeah, Chio Ro, that is that cross with that. Let me see if I can pull it up. Anyway, so yeah, and you'll see that in the Catholic Church too. In this symbol, we will conquer. And I don't know, did Constantine see the one that said? I don't know who. But I actually had this on, I did a stream about this. But, and you know what's funny? I've seen this symbol in my Lutheran church growing up. It's stuff like hanging from the walls and stuff, and that was one of them. In this sign, you shall conquer. That's what the Romans. Who's that? It's a Roman soldier. In this sign, you shall conquer. That's what the IHS stands for above Jesus' head on the cross. Because the story never said any of that. It's supposed to be his name and what he is being executed for. And, well, it depends what gospel you read. It's different on each one. Anyway. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up and get off of here because that's pretty much all I wanted to do. And we will continue tomorrow night with all the influences, Roman Greco influences. So yes, that is one of the stewards of heaven, 7 stewards of heaven. The Lutheran Church has all kinds of sigils in the sanctuary. Yeah, I know. It had that P with the X or whatever, and as a matter of fact, I just drove by recently. I just drove by again in my old neighborhood, my church I grew up in, my Lutheran church, and I always laugh when I see the cross outside. I'll show you. I'll show you the church that I grew up in. Oops. And they got that big Masonic. You guys, this is a Masonic cross. That's what it's called. I always thought, oh, we have a fancy cross. It's not just a plain boring cross. It's a fancy cross. Here's the church I grew up in, Lakeview Lutheran Church. I'll show you. Okay. Evangelical Lutheran Church. Yeehaw. Yeah, so here's that's weird. Oh, here it is. Okay. Here it is. So here's the church I grew up in. It's in Maplewood, Minnesota. And actually, these people are still there. Some people I still know. But I'll show you the outside of our church. I drive by it. This is on the road where I grew up. There's my church. Look at that cross. And as a matter of fact, this is where I got baptized. I was 7 years old, and my little sister was born. And my mom and dad just built a brand new house in this neighborhood and brought me and my sister to be baptized. I remember it very clearly. But look at that Masonic cross. Pick up your cross and follow. Yeah, pick up your death instrument and follow me. Pick up your electric chair or your hangman's noose and follow me. Yeah. Interesting. Yep. I'm pretty sure that's my Lakeview Lutheran Church right there. I mean, I went to that church. I sat on that stage and did my plays when I was a kid, and I sang in the choir. I went to confirmation in the building right next door. Yep, that's where I went to church every day, or every week, I should say. Wednesdays was confirmation, but yep, there it is. The Masonic. I every time I drive by it, I laugh because I drive by. It's right off the Highway 61 neighborhood I grew up in. So when I come off the freeway down from up here, get down into the cities, get off the freeway, there it is. And then I cruise through my old neighborhood. Anyway, yeah, Masonic cross. That's what it is. Worship. Sunday, 8:30 a.m. God loves us. You know what was kind of weird? I told you guys, they never really talked about Jesus. See how it says God loves us? Like most churches would say Jesus loves us. But yeah, here's the church I grew up in. And I got baptized there and everything. But Sunday school, confirmation, everything. Yeah, anyway, God loves us. You know, and that, like, I don't know, and then later I thought, well, they never said nothing about Jesus, but I'm glad they didn't because I've always prayed to God. My relationship has been with God. I really didn't know hear anything about Jesus except here and there. The baby in the manger and the man on the cross. Yep, pick up your instrument of death and follow him to the grave. And actually, wish death upon yourself every day. Hate the world. Wish to die every day and actually get angry because you're not. 8:30 a.m. or 83. What a coincidence. Yeah. They had two services actually. One was at 8:30 and one was at 10. So you could get out from 10 to you get out at 11:30 and you'd be home at 12 for the Vikings game. Even the pastor would say, "All right, you guys, we're going to be out of here and you know, I know the Vikings are playing today, and we got to all get home and before the game starts." So, yeah. Anyway, crazy, huh? All right, guys. Well, I'll wrap it up. In 83 is in that poster, Murder by Numbers. 8 and 3 is the murder number. 83 in Gematria, the murder number. So in the Sandra Bullock movie, Murder by Numbers, the poster has a 8 for the B and the 3 for the E. Being a magician is more fun than it was being a Lutheran. Yeah, yeah. And you know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a magician. Your church had a 10:30 service. Yeah, which is the 13. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Crazy, huh? Huh. Yeah, I wanted to be a magician when I grew up, but that didn't really pan out because they really want you. They make you want to be a magician. They show you all that magic stuff when you're a kid. But anyway, well, guys, what do you think? Should we order a pizza? No, just kidding. Yes, John. Oh, speaking of John and Magic, happy birthday, John. I think yours was June, like a week after mine. I think it was like June 15th. But anyway, happy belated birthday, John. I was gonna try to remind myself next time you came in. And I think I dropped the ball last time you were here. So anyway, happy birthday. Hope it was awesome and magical and wonderful and everything you wanted it to be. Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, I hope it was good. I hope it was awesome. Yeah, extra peppers. Yes, happy belated birthday. Yes, let's order a pizza for John. Uh, you know what? Last time I went to cities, I almost ordered a pizza from my favorite place. We don't have really pizza up here. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely out of any delivery thing for anything. I don't think our town has anything that delivers, but anyway, last time I was in the city, I just wanted a good old fashioned pizza from a pizza joint. You know what I mean? That's been a long time since I had that. But anyway, I'll run down to the cities and get a pizza. By the time you guys get here, I'll have it. I got hiccups now. You like peppers? Those hot peppers on it? Ghost peppers? Or no, those little round, crinkly looking ones. I forgot. You know what I got in my fridge right now? Sliced jalapenos. You know how sometimes one jar will be hot and hotter than the other? These are hot jalapenos. Really hot. They don't hit you at first until after you're chewing and stuff. Yeah, I love jalapeno peppers. I put them on my nachos and stuff. Yep. Sorry, I've been away. Sometimes it's tough to get away from stuff. No, I totally understand, John. Totally understand. Especially for me, it's this is planting season, or it was. Now it's just maintaining my garden, but I tell you, during planting season it was kind of hard. But yep. And not only that, but it's so nice out. Who isn't out enjoying the weather, right? You have to be crazy not to. Mm. It's been so beautiful. Yeah, happy birthday. Wish I had some birthday cake. I haven't had that in a long time. It all sounds good. I'm hungry. But yeah, anyway, I hope it was a good one. It was awesome. Boy, we got 3 Geminis on here tonight. Look at that. 3 Geminis. Well, or also known as June bugs. We got 3 June bugs here, right? You guys are, yeah, we're all Geminis. 3 June bugs. And I'm glad. I think I saw one June bug that was like on his back. I don't know what he was doing. But other than that, we didn't really see a lot of June bugs this year. Summertime, family, gardening, and laviscinus. Yeah, I know, right? Same here. Same here. Summertime, family, garden. Well, I don't have a lot of family stopping by. Pretty much none. But it is summertime, doggies, gardening, and laviscinus. You got to fit in that laviscinus, you know what I mean? Or what's the use? Yeah, June bug party. Yes, it is the June bug party tonight. Yeah, usually we get invaded by June bugs, like right on June 1st. It's like they're on a train or something. I'm so happy the nasty June bugs are about done. Really? I didn't get any. I think I got one. I dug one up out of the garden, and then I saw another one. I was back out on the sidewalk, and I thought, oh, usually we get swarmed by them, but we didn't really get them. Maybe because it was so dry. We had no rain for a month. Thank God we got rain tonight. Exactly. Bosco would agree. Yeah. You saw one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Bosco had a little laviscinus too. He came back missing an eye and limping. Limping on 3 legs, and eye poked out pretty much. Yeah, he had a little too much laviscinus. You saw one fly by this week? Oh, a June bug, another one? Well, he's late for the show because I think it's usually just a few days and then they're gone for the rest of the year. Yeah, they go down in the dirt and hide till next year. Not really sure what their purpose is, but you could say that about some people too. Unless their purpose is to just have false prophecies all the time. Sometimes that, I guess there's a position for that. Yeah. Anyway. Oops. Yeah, I tell you, the mosquitoes, though, oh boy, getting chewed to the bone out here with those things. Vicious. All you have to do is even step in the shade during the daytime and you get chewed up. Don't really like dousing myself in that poisonous bug spray. I think I've put on bug spray twice since I've been here in 5 years. That's because I had to go outside with the mosquitoes at one point. But yeah, don't really want that DDT or whatever the heck it was. Oh, you know what I just read about today? Oh my goodness, this is kind of too long to get into. But I read about this drug. Remember I showed you those propaganda films that the government was pushing on kids and everybody? And anyway, there was one of the propaganda films said the future of, I can't remember what drug it was. So I looked up that drug, and it was a drug that gave, it was for morning sickness in the late 50s, early 60s, and that they gave it to the pregnant mothers for morning sickness, and the babies all came out deformed, like little tiny arms, like 3-inch arms. There's all kinds of deform. Yeah, that was the thalidomide. Yeah, that's it, Grace. That's it. And you know what? There was a government propaganda film on that called "The Future of the Thalidomide" or whatever. Thalidomide. They're using it again. Oh heck no! That's where all those conjoined babies came from, and the babies with the little arms, and the babies with the tiny legs, like dwarfism, all that. Oh, it was crazy. I cannot believe they're using it again because it was such a big deal. In fact, right now, today, it was my age. They stopped using it like in the early 60s. It was around like 5 years, not even 10 years. And they had so many deformed babies, but those babies now are my age. They're 60 years old, in the early 60s, late 50s right now. And so they've grown up, had children with no arms. Those are the people that you see feeding the baby with their feet, changing the baby's diapers with their feet because they got no arms. Conjoined people. Anyway, the ones that are still alive, like they had a hell of a life. You know what I mean? Anyway, I cannot believe they're using that again. Well, see, if you're doomed. If you don't know history, you're bound to repeat it, and they're doomed, or whatever it says. Um, so if people don't know about that, I mean, crazy. Wow, and that was a government propaganda film about pitching that stuff and saying how great it is for moms not to have morning sickness. And man, for years, for I don't know, next 5, 6, 7 years, babies came out just none of them with arms and just deformed faces, heads, bodies, no legs, babies stuck together, just the weirdest, strangest things. Yeah, wow. Yeah, wow. Anyway, and it was crazy. They were pushing it as a wonder drug in the government. I mean, anyway, all right. Well, I'll say goodnight. And, but Kathy, remember privately, you and I looked up things that were supposedly removed from the required pokes and they renamed it. Yeah, exactly. 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 And all they do is rename this stuff. So that thalidomide or whatever is now probably some other name. And who's the wiser? I mean, it is awful. It's just seeing. So yeah, oh, man. And I didn't even know if there's lawsuits. I think there was, but who cares? I mean, it doesn't help all those babies. And how them babies didn't get no money. People need to do their own homework. Yes, people, everybody, please do your own homework with any of that stuff. You know, I mean, if you think it's good that somebody puts embalming fluid in you when you're still alive, I don't know what to tell you. Or mercury, all these things. Yep, you need to do your own homework. It's death by 1,000 cuts. You got to learn what those cuts are and eliminate them. Yep, don't be a guinea pig. That's right. Yep, and that's the problem. People are just too trusting. And just think of all the people that they offered money for tests to be a a guinea pig. I mean, oh, you want to be part of medical research and earn extra money for doing barely nothing? Yeah. All right. Um, come down to this medical facility, and then they sign waivers, and just imagine all those studies where they tested drugs with drugs, and then some were placebos. You know what I mean? Okay, what was in this placebo? That's, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a sugar pill, was it? Anyway, they probably did 2 studies at once. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yes, I still regret giving those. I know, me too, Grace. I gave thousands of children's their pokes, babies, and I used to think people were they're bad parents if they were behind, even though my kids were behind. Because that's what you're told to think. Yeah, I know. Anyway, and they're bad parents. Bad parents. No, those are actually the smart ones. Anyway, who knew? Yep, I thought I was a good nurse. Me too. Because you know what nursing is? It's a noble profession. And like one of the best things you can be, right? A nurse. That's what I thought when I signed up for school. Anyway, who knew? You know what I guess my diploma should have said? Actually, I got 2 diplomas. I got one to dispense radiation also. Besides the nursing, I also got a license to dispense radiation to the public too. But it should have said on there, instead of my name, it should have said useful idiot. Because that's what we were. Oh, man. And actually have you so brainwashed that you will be mad at the people who aren't doing all the harm to their kids. That's the beauty of it, you guys. That's the beauty of it. Oh, you actually think you're doing something good. Like almost heroic. Oh man. Yeah, I thought I was a good nurse and a good person. Like, who, you know what I mean? We're out there saving lives. We're on the front line, man. Yeah, I'm just glad I got out before the you know what. Because, yeah, glad I woke up long before that. Oh, I got a nasty, nasty letter from the IRS today after I spent 2 hours on the phone tracking down a human to inform them that they made an error sending me a refund. Go figure. Yeah. Really? Yeah. The thing is, you got to sign that W-2 to get for them to pay you, and that's where we all made our mistake, signing that W-2, because that gives them the IRS permission to hold you accountable. But not like, a doctor's office is going to be paying us cash. You know what I mean? We really had no choice. But live and learn. Best thing people can do, really, because I mean, if you can work for yourself, and anyway, you know the deal. Just not get involved in the beast system. And you know what? And it's only a slave system if you volunteer to be a slave. You can work your whole life and never be a slave. You're a slave. Slavery is self-imposed. If you buy a house way too expensive that you out of your league, you're imposing yourself. You're self-imposed slavery. In fact, that's what a mortgage is. A mortgage is Latin for a death pledge. And so if you want to sign a death pledge to make these giant payments that you have to work constantly to make, yeah, then you've made yourself into a slave. instead of getting some tiny little place for very little money and work your way from there um, with a fraction of a payment. The same with the vehicles. If you want to get a brand new vehicle and drive that around like you're a big shot, um, you have made yourself a slave to that truck and the payment. Or you can get what I do, get a used vehicle. Who needs a McMansion? All you need is a shelter. That's right. That's right. Like looking back, I like if I could talk to my younger self, I would do things a lot differently. But um, like if I was going to start over, I'd be much more financially wiser to do that. Start with, I mean, you can even if people who can't, they don't think you can afford to buy a house or whatever, not like that. Well, if you got money coming in, if you got some kind of income or whatever, buy a little piece of land, start out with a camper, and go from there. Or buy a really older house that's needs a lot of work and go from there. I mean, it's shelter, and I mean, instead of making, you know, $1,500 a month payments, you can make $700 a month payments or $500 a month payments. Why borrow more towels when you already have towels you can wash? That's right, because that's how people don't end up with nothing because they're wasteful, wasteful. I mean, it's kind of like paper towels. I try not to use that many paper towels. Um, it's just like people used to do, and nobody had paper towels. There's a lot of things that are wasteful all day, every day that people can cut out. You know what I mean? Going to car washes for $30 a month. Are you kidding? If you have a hose and a pan with some soap and a sponge or something, wash it yourself. I mean, for a fraction, for $1 worth of water or whatever. There's always the MH method of taking trips to Florida and getting money under the table and finding a sugar mama, sugar daddy. Yeah. But you know what? That is stressful and very short term. It's really he's setting himself up for disaster by doing that. Because when it does come to an end, it's going to be a hard fall. I mean, when you're back taking mayonnaise and ketchup packets from fast food so you can have it on your sandwich at night, that's maybe would be the best thing for him. Because remember, that's how it was. But yeah, it's hard going back. You know what I mean? I was saying today actually that Cynthia may be looking for, you know, the sugar mama might have an opening pretty soon if somebody doesn't control themselves and take their or behind bars. Yes, I think so, John. I think there's going to be an opening very soon, one way or the other, because that's why he drives around, John. Why? Because pretty soon he's not going to be able to get it. Oh, I do all this every day because pretty soon I won't be able to. Yeah. I pay $10 for monthly car wash, all the wash you want for $10. Yeah, no, that's $35 or something, and they each do it. It's $70 a month. Hey, get a bucket and a sponge and a hose. Do it yourself. In fact, that's what I like about spring, summer, and fall is I can wash my own vehicle. We're forced to do it in the winter. We have to go through the car wash, but the only reason I pay for the car wash is because I park under a sappy tree. Yeah, yeah, I know how that is. Must be one of them Minnesota pine trees, huh? I know I live in Pine County. They don't call it Pine County for nothing. We have a lot of pine trees here. Yeah, you park underneath them. Great shade, great. But yep, they can drip. They can drip. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what'll come first, the hospital or the handcuffs. With the money they squandered, they could have invested and started a business. I know, John. Can you imagine $500,000 squandered? Over 500,000. Oh, birds can drip too. Oh yeah, they're very drippy. Yes. Um, you if you were smart, but you see, you have to be disciplined, John, to run your own business. You have to have self discipline, and neither one of them have it. But yes, for a fraction of that money, you could have bought in some paint equipment and hired a couple guys, and all you have to do as the boss, and I did it not because I didn't want to work, it's because the jobs were too far. I would go bid the job and then call my guys and tell them what's going on, and then send them over there. You don't even have to do anything. And I only did that after I moved 100 miles away. It's the way I had to do it. But you know, send the guys over there, have them come over, pick up your van with the painting equipment, or you go over there, drop it off, get the guys started, and when it's all done, you go over there and you check it out and you pay the guys, and bam, you really don't have to do too much. I mean, if you have the money to start a business, and but again, John, you have to know what you're doing too, not just be self-disciplined, but you have to be knowledgeable. And I don't think he's got any of that in him to do any of that. So, but if it was a different person, they could have started the business. Yeah, I don't think he's got it in him, John. But yes, a normal person could have done that. You know how there's a lot of businesses you could start if you had some money, if you had some cash. He couldn't work if he wanted to. Remember, he said he was never meant to work, even though that's not what Scripture says. I know. I think I have a clip of that, actually. Yeah, I was never meant to work. Yep, and you're not a slave, and working is not a slave system. Self-imposed slavery is what you're seeing right now. Nobody's being forced to be a slave. You're a slave when you overextend yourself and trying to live high on the hog when you can't afford it. You know what I mean? So you're only a slave when you get yourself into debt so much that you can't do anything but work just to keep afloat. That's when you've turned yourself into a slave. That's self-imposed. Nobody's making anybody be a slave. You know what I mean? And nobody's forcing anybody to all the extras. Gluttony is slavery. Yes, it is. It is. It is. Yep. Gluttony and sugar addiction and addiction to eating out and eating fast foods. I mean, you know how damaging fast food is to your body and how fat you get? Well, imagine somebody living off fast food cards with amongst everything else. I don't think most of those cards never made it to anybody except Mark. I don't think they ever left Mark's hands. You know, I think about it. The result of gluttony at fast food is weight gain. The result of gluttony at restaurants every day is weight gain. I mean, and so yeah, I think I think we can see where the fast food cards ended up. That doesn't take a scientist to figure that out. And by the way, and taking dreams as the truth, yeah, yeah. You know, it's all because of that one line. I can't remember. It's one of Paul's one-liners. Young men will dream dreams, or old men will see visions, or old men will dream dreams, young men will see visions, I think. And so they just run with that. So I guess every dream you have, you got to wake up in the morning, figure out, put it all together like a puzzle, or like throwing darts at the wall, and or actually just throw crap at the wall, bunch of dung. Throw the dung at the wall and see what sticks. And amazingly, it must be a Teflon wall because nothing is stuck. You know what I mean? Dreams is truth. Yeah. You know, and it's not even it's the good old asshole Paul. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yep. I think about once in a while going back into that, but man, it's like so obvious now. It's so obvious because I was thinking today too. You know how everybody says, "Oh, Jesus died for your sins." Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Not once. And that's the whole basis of Christianity, right? Jesus died for your sins. Well, that's funny because not once out of Jesus' mouth did he say, "I'm going to die for your sins." Not once did Jesus say that. Never did he say it. And that's what Christianity is based on. As a matter of fact, not only did he not die for the sins, but he is in the Garden of Gethsemane begging, crying to God, crying out in prayer, "God, please take this cup from me if it's possible. I don't want this to happen." So why is he crying out to God, praying not to have it happen? And then he's on the cross and saying, "Wow, you betrayed me. My God, you've forsaken me," or whatever. Like, wait, if that's part of the plan, what went wrong? No, it wasn't. During the lockdown, we would drive up north to bring our dad TP and other supplies. Sometimes we go there to take him out for lunch. But who drives 150 for a meal? I know. And you know what? You would have a much healthier meal at home. There's no restaurant that's going to feed you healthy food. I don't care what the name of the place is. I looked that place up, Grace. It's cheeseburgers and fries. There's nothing healthy about it. I mean, I don't know, they had a salad or something. But look at it. It's, I don't know, burgers and fries. You know what I mean? I don't know, they might have some gimmick or something, but I looked at the menu like any other restaurant. Not only that, but those restaurants have to buy their food through the government. So what does that tell you? They can't just go to the grocery store and buy the eggs and toast for the restaurant tomorrow. Oh, heck no. Don't work like that. You gotta, all your food has to come from the government when you own a restaurant. That's right. Oh, why? Well, because if there's ever like some food poisoning with the eggs, they could track it down. Well, why couldn't you just track it down saying, "Yeah, we bought our food, our eggs at Sam's Market." You know what I mean? How's the prophet's diabetes? Not good, John. He's not. He just went to the doctor and he mentioned nothing. You know, if there's one sign of something good, he would have bragged about it. Not good. Not good. And as a matter of fact, the minute he got out of the doctor's office, the diabetes doctor, he went to that juice place and had a giant, I don't know, like a big gulp orange juice. He was sucking on it when the video came on. You know why you remember when orange juice came out, like in restaurants or whatever? There was a tiny little cup, it's called a juice cup for a reason. Because nobody should have more than a tiny little cup of juice. Okay, because in that tiny little cup of juice, you've got the equivalent of, I don't know, 5 oranges, maybe 6 oranges, who knows? But there's so much sugar in there. A human's not made to have all that juice out of all that sugar, all that fructose, all that out of a fruit. All right, you're supposed to, with every juice, you're supposed to have the pulp. You're supposed to have all of it. If it's the doc, it's better than not. Who are you asking, the prophet or the doc? If it's the doc, it better not be doc kids. I think it is. But did he lose a bunch of weight last year? Yes, he lost 7 pounds. But then he gained it back. But he was very proud of those 7 pounds. I think after 6 months he lost 7 pounds. But he hasn't mentioned it again. So if he's bragging about 7 pounds in 6 months, and now he hasn't mentioned, no, I don't think it's going well. Listen, you cannot, like I said, when people go on vacation, have you ever gone on vacation and you gain a lot of weight? Yeah, you can. Yeah, he probably can gain 7 pounds in one sitting and lose 7 pounds on one sitting on the toilet, probably. Yeah, one squat, exactly. Well, the MH and Doc kids are aging fast. Yeah. Every once in a while, I will go back and look at those old Rapture people, like Doc kids and now what's her name? All of them, and none of them are aging well. None of them are aging well. But that Doc kids, I don't know if he ever gets out of that chair. Looks like he's in a dark basement or something. Yeah. Yeah. But if you go on vacation for a week and you eat out for lunch and breakfast or lunch and dinner or whatever, you eat out for a whole week, you're going to go home from vacation and your clothes will be very fit. You've gained weight, right? That's from eating out. Eating out is the worst thing you can do. And if you eat out for every meal, yes, you are going to gain weight very fast. And all you have to do is stop doing that. I still haven't seen Dot Kids. I should check that out sometime. Yeah. It's a little dumpy guy that sits in his chair and he yeah. Well, there's a lot of stories about him. His stolen valor with his medals on the wall. People have questioned. Yeah. No, he's I don't know. And the reason they're not aging very well is because that's what this lifestyle does. They lie, they take money, they do all kinds of bad things. And karma, I believe in karma. What comes around goes around. You do this to bad things to people all day, every day. It's just, we're gonna see it in your face. Just like who? Mark and Cynthia. They've aged probably 20 years since they met 5 years ago. I mean, that was those are dog years, you know what I mean? 7 years at a time. I mean, my dog isn't aging that fast, you know what I mean? It shows. And I think people that are aging super fast like that, I think they're doing horrible things. That's my opinion. I think it's karma. I think it's karma. Yeah, Doc Kids. He sits in this chair and I don't know. I haven't seen him in a long time. Let's see if he ever got out of that chair. All right. Oh, is he not on here anymore? What happened to him? What's the name of his channel? Most of those folks are so miserable that they want to die, and yet they're afraid of the afterlife. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see Doc Kids. How do you spell his name? DOCKIDDS. Okay, so I was thinking sometime I would like to question. Oh, it's all one word? Thanks. I would like to question a lot of, I would like to take a poll, and I'd like to question. There it is, Rapture Dream, and this October Feasted Trumpets. Well, there you go. Oh, that's Dot Kids appeared in this dream. A man is dreaming about another man. I don't know about that. So this guy, Rapture Dream, Dot Kids appeared in the dream. Here's Dot Kids. Oh, I'm leaving for good today. Where is that? I'm leaving for good today. I love you with all my heart. It's been a 15-year, quite a run. All right, did he ever come back? Let's see. What happened? I'm a watchman. I sound the alarm. Everyone, warning everyone of what's happening. Right, but nothing ever came true. So what are you gonna do? Oh yeah, he had the spiel about how to be saved when he came out. Huh? Say no videos. What? Oh, he didn't have live. He had lives. Oh yeah, you're right. He's not aging very well. The sun is wearing a crown. Oh wait, I thought he left. Many ask where I went. You can find me. Oh, he went to another platform. He's got 80,000 subscribers. Look at that. He has 80,000 subscribers. Really? Hmm. Look at. Here, he's pulling a Mark Hardy. I'm leaving for good. Goodbye. 8 months ago. 4 months later, he comes back. I'm back. Oh, and here's more stuff. More stuff. Yeah, he pulled the I'm leaving for good. I was talking about, I didn't make a video like that, but I was talking about cutting down on live streams, but somebody said maybe I should just keep going for a while. They always sound something, an alarm, a bell, a trumpet. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. And they all watch each other. You know what it is? It's a echo chamber. What is an echo chamber? Hmm. The UN boss says the perfect storm has arrived. Famine, warm, chaos. Has Magog war hook in the jaw. It's just fear mongering. Fear mongering. He's perverted too. I never really listened to his stuff. Never really even started to listen to him. But yeah, I totally can see that. I could see that being true. How many times has McFraud tried that same ordeal? I'm leaving. It's over. He does, but you know what? Nobody really cares. Yeah, you're right. They all hate each other too. I think it's the competition, John. Now, if one of them sees the other one get a bunch of money, they're jealous. If one of them gets more attention, they're jealous. So they gotta like shoot down their competition. I mean, like Mark's competition is these guys. It's Barry Scarborough and Tim Henderson, and you know, I mean, that's why they always have bad things to say about each other because it's their competition. It's like Burger King talking bad about McDonald's. I mean, yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, they do, and there is jealousy there, not just hate, jealousy. Well, I'll wrap it up. Happy birthday again to John. And I'm just scrolling through his earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, typhoons. Excuse me, I got hiccups again. Rapture and tribulation imminent. Here, a 57-year-old end times. Sorry. Prophetic warning. Is he 57 or was 57? Hmm. Huh. Excuse me. Hardy Boy is still hating on Joseph Aquaviva. He's been trashing him for over a year now since he promoted your channel. I know. He's so mad. Still mad about that. It was so funny on the graph. On Social Blade, you can go look at how somebody's channel is doing every day, month to month, all through the year. And I looked on Mark's, and when Joseph said that, there was a graph and it went straight down. He lost so many people. It was the worst hit he ever took. I just saw Joseph put up a video. It says he's taking a break from all this. I don't know. He's taking a break, I guess. But yeah, that was the biggest hit he ever took. And that's why he's still mad. He's never really recovered from that. You know what I mean? And I got a lot. I got like 100 subscribers. I got probably 150 subscribers off of them. It like doubled my channel overnight. I had like 170. And now it's like, I don't know, actually I don't know what it is, 280 or something. Or maybe it's 300, I don't know. But yeah. So it was a double whammy. It took a hit on his channel and it boosted my channel. So it was a double whammy. Yeah, he didn't like that too much. It was funny because he said, "You don't know who you're messing with." And he thought, "Oh, yeah, whatever." Yeah, well, he didn't know who he was messing with. You know what? Here's one of Doc Kid's videos here. Look at this. Is a good example. This is another thing I was thinking about. Mark of the Beast is emerging. Biggest Mark of the Beast news in his history is very near. Not sure why it would bother him so much. It's not like McFraud uses his money to buy subscribers. Yeah. Yeah, he just tries to buy more. He just buys more. But he lost his popularity. He lost a lot of people that were kissing his butt. And that, for narcissists, that hurts. Any attention that's lost is really hard. Hard for them. But anyway, this Mark of the Beast, you guys just think about this. During you know what, right? Remember during the lockdowns and all that stuff. Yeah, it's not his money anyway. So during the lockdowns and everything, people are all to this day and always, people have said, well, we need to go to cashless society for the Mark of the Beast. No, you don't. Nobody has to go cashless for the mark. You don't need to. Nobody needs to go cashless for the Mark of the Beast. You don't. Two things I got to say about that. Number one, proof of it is during COVID when you had to stop outside the store and be let in. Okay? That's all they would have to do to give you the mark. Stop you outside the door and then let you in. That's it. Let people line up. Let them in one at a time. And then once you get in there, it didn't matter what kind of money you were using, did it? It didn't matter if you had cash or a card or check. It didn't matter. The problem was getting through the door. Not, you know what I mean? So all they have to do is stop you at the door if there's ever a problem with the mark. They don't have to get rid of cash to have a mark. Are you kidding? They proved it. Y'all lined up in long lines outside the stores, and they were let in a few at a time. And they wanted you to wear a mask and all that other stuff. So no. And then once you're in there, it didn't matter what kind of money. It was the problem was getting in the store. So yeah. And now number two, what I have to say about that, the second thing is if they eventually will go probably to a digital currency, but you know what? It has nothing to do with the mark. That has to do with is control, because they want to control everybody in the world. That's why they're doing that. It's not for a mark. They don't need to do that. Cash is for a mark. It's obvious. The cashless is to control every penny that comes and goes out of your pocket or your bank account. As a matter of fact, you used to be able to sell on eBay. I've sold on eBay for 20 years. Not regularly, but when I have certain items, I do go on eBay and sell them. And about 3 years ago or 2 years ago, they switched things. So the money can't go in your PayPal anymore. You have to have a bank account in it, and it has to get routed right into your bank account. Well, guess what? Then last year, another new thing. Guess what? What? Well, now not only does it have to go straight into your bank account, but if you sell over $600, you have to you have to give them your social security number, because even though they're the ones taking taxes out for your customer, all right, so say I sell something for $100. Well, there's $6 and something cents tax, right? Well, the customer pays eBay the tax. I get my money. eBay takes out money for me using eBay. eBay also charges them tax. So the tax has already been paid. So why am I having to tell the IRS any money I'm having? So they did two things in the last 2 years. Money has to go straight into your bank account. No other place, no card, no extra anywhere. Straight into your bank account where the IRS can look at it. And number two, anything over $600, now the IRS is involved and they know. So you can see right there what they're doing. Okay, now IRS and the bank and the government, everybody knows exactly what you're making off of eBay. All right. Before it used to go on a PayPal card, and it was just like, hey, and I can just use this card wherever I want. It's like a, I don't know, MasterCard or something. You know what I mean? And nobody knew what money was going in and what you're spending and nothing like. Nope, not anymore. They just funneled everything right to, and a lot of people bummed out because I saw people. I was in the coin collecting community for a while on YouTube. You know how many people don't have bank accounts, and they were SOL. They had money in their PayPal, but if you don't funnel it into a bank account, you can't touch it. Yeah, Doc Kid's got 79,000 subs. How is that? How is that possible? Is he buying the views too? Because look at the views on here. He's got 4,000 or 5,000 views. What in the heck is going on here? Anyway. Yeah, exactly. Banks started monitoring transactions over 500 prior to that big event, and we are not allowed to speak of. Yeah. Yep. That too. Anytime you spend more than $500, yep, red flags go out and you get reported. Garage sale and cash only. That's right, John. So guess what? So I sold some watches, okay? I needed to come up with money. I've had to hire an attorney. I had to come up with $4,000 like by Friday. And anyway, so I came up with money, and one of the things I did is I put some watches on eBay, a couple watches. I thought it'd get like $500. Well, they went to $800. Well, guess what? Red flags, red flags. Now they're not giving you pull up, yep, it's sold, but you can guess what? eBay cannot release the funds. Yeah. So anyway, I had to report all my stuff to the IRS. That's right. Even though I've already paid the taxes, they still have to know. So why would you still have to know? I've already paid them. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't get it. Are they going to try to double tax? Yeah. Well, it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I thought, you know what? And that's every year, by the way. So now if you're on eBay and you go over $600, you have to do what I did. I had to hand over my tax information. And I don't have a tax ID number anymore. It goes in your personal Social Security number. And so they all had to be reported. And I'm like, what the heck? Anyway, so it is kind of already closing in, you know what I mean? They are already making it hard to, you know, do anything really. So yeah, they don't need to go cashless in order to have a mark, you know what I mean? And I don't believe really I don't really believe the Book of Revelation story anymore. But what I do think that story is for is to convince everybody to just roll over and do what they tell you to do, because I got a mosquito in here. Because it's the end of the world and it's Bible prophecy, and if you try to go against Bible prophecy, you're going against God. So, and you know who used to always get irritated about that for years? It's been Zach Hubbard. Always angry that the Christians don't want to do anything. They don't want to they don't want to stand up against anything because they're convinced that then they're going against God's plan. Kind of like in Jim Jones, you know what I mean? In Guyana, when they're all in that camp in Guyana. And I've watched those Jim Jones tapes and the movies and stuff and documentaries. And that's what had everybody convinced that, you know, no use to fight back. The government's already won. We just have to lay down our lives. I was going to say that, John. Yeah, careful, yeah. Kind of like the nasty letter the IRS sent me. They're threatening me with taxes on an overpayment that I notified them about. Yeah. See? It's almost like they try to get you in some kind of a jam. It's just weird. It's a control mechanism, exactly. That's what they're headed for. Just like the concept of eternal punishment, exactly. It's a demonic spirit. It is. It is. It is. It is. It's an entity, really. So I was going to say, and I forgot, I started to say it earlier, but I would like to do like I would like to take a poll with Christians and ask them, like, if you ever decided to not be a Christian anymore, if you decided that you don't want to follow Jesus, and what do you think would happen to you? Like, what do you think would happen? If you decided, you know what, I don't want to be a Christian anymore, I don't want to believe in Jesus, what do you think what would be like? Would there be any bad things that happen? They'd say, oh, heck yeah, I wouldn't want to go to hell. I wouldn't stop being a Christian because I don't want to go to hell. Well, see, you could ask every single Christian, what would happen if you stopped being a Christian? Every one of them would probably say, well, you'd burn in hell forever. Oh, I see. So you really have no choice, do you? You know what I'm saying? They're not even wanting to learn for themselves. Ignorance is not bliss. No. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, ask every single Christian, what would happen if you stopped being a Christian? Huh. I wouldn't stop being a Christian. I don't want to burn in hell. Oh, so it's all under a threat of burning for eternity that you are in this group. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Like, you could tell everybody, you could have told me, I would have agreed, you know what I mean? But until you study for yourself, and it takes a long time to do that. It's not like reading, a book. It takes a lot of study. And you know what else it takes? You have to give yourself permission to think logically, not have cognitive dissonance, and give yourself permission for even like one day. Start out one day. Okay, what if some of this in this Bible isn't true? I was once in that state of mind. Me too, John. So I can totally understand. It's like I have no choice. If I'm not a Christian, I'm going to burn forever when I die. So you're trapped in it because you couldn't get out if you want. There's punishment that comes with leaving the group. Eternal punishment. Horrible. Yeah. It takes courage to step out of that man-made box. I know. And I was just listening to somebody, that Jennifer Bird, somebody asked her what got you into this or whatever. Well, she was an evangelical Christian and pushing, she thought, it's up to her to save people's souls and get as many souls saved and all that stuff, like probably we all did. And in any way, but same thing, it was, and you'll hear it from everybody. When you do step out and start questioning things, immediately people turn against you. Immediately you're seen as some kind of a bad person or a demon, or you got devils in you or something. There's something wrong with you because you're starting to question things. Courage and a sense of humor. That's right, John. That's kind of my motto for my whole life. You got to have courage and a sense of humor, and you'll get through it just fine. But you know what? You are going to lose friends. You're going to lose associates. You're going to, like I've even heard of pastors that have hung on to their jobs because, and they've had to have it be a Christian non-believer because, a closet non-believer. They had to not tell anybody until they found a different line of work. You know what I mean? They had to keep pretending that they're a Christian because, man, if you start saying anything, they're going to attack you. You know what I mean? And so that's with your friends and your family and all your fellow Christians. And like she said, yeah, right away, man. I lost all kinds of, but looking back, it's okay. You know what I mean? But at the time, it's like, man, I don't want to say anything. People are, you know how it is. Oh, you got a demon in you and this and that because you don't agree and you're starting to question things. And, you just point to it right here, but look, right here it says this, and then over here it says the opposite. You know what I mean? Or this here isn't true. And look, here they went to Kathy, give a brief summary of what MacArthur says about divorce. Oh, yeah. So Grace saw a video where John McCarthy was. Well, actually, I can't remember, but anyway, she said, so in John McCarthy's ministry, and you know what? It's funny because you know whose ministry is exactly like that? is who's that woman that looks like the Joker? Um, she's the same way. If you work for her ministry, you're not allowed to get divorced. And that's the same with John MacArthur. Some lady was getting beaten up or something. I can't remember the story. But anyway, John MacArthur condemned her for leaving her husband and wanted to go back to an abusive relationship. That would really be miserable to preach something you don't believe in. I know. Joyce Myers, that's who it was. Same thing. There was a guy working, one of the security guards for Joyce Myers was cheating on his wife with her high school friend. And they were like traveling and stuff. So he was hooking up with some girl on the side, and he was scared because if you get caught cheating in Joyce Myers' ministry and you work for her and you get caught cheating or something or whatever, you get fired. And so he didn't want to get fired, so he killed his wife so he could be with the new girl and be the grieving widow and all that stuff. Well, he got caught. That was Joyce Myers, one of her security people. Yeah, he ended up killing her. That's you can see that all over the news. Yeah, he ended up killing his wife. And then you know what he wrote on the wall in spray paint? Allah Akbar. And made it look like it was a religious thing, like they were Muslims or something, whatever. He wrote Allah Akbar on the wall. He says all the rumors about her are absolutely true. I know one of her former security guards. Really? He says all the rumors about her are absolutely true. Yeah. Well, anyway, that guy killed his wife rather than giving up the girlfriend or whatever. That way he could have his cake and eat it too. He could be the grieving widow, hook up with his girlfriend, and still keep his job. But McCarthy's the same way. MacArthur, whatever his name is, he also doesn't allow divorce in his. Anyway, yeah, sent some lady back to her horrible husband. Publicly humiliated her in front of everybody. Yeah. Yeah. She's a weirdo. And yeah, it's just, isn't it crazy? Christianity really is delusional in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? It's so easy to, you know what, the Bible, the New Testament, the whole Bible, it's a tool for psychopaths to just completely fool and control other people. You know what I mean? It's not just the government that's controlling people, but the use of the Bible, but it's also people controlling other people. Think of how many husbands treat their wives like crap because they said the Bible tells you they can. Look at Jurassic Larry. He tells everybody that he can smack his wife and treat her like crap because he's the head of the household or whatever. Just think how many millions and billions of people who have been mistreated, because that's what it did. You can turn that Bible into anything, and especially you can turn it into a tool to control people. I mean, look at David Koresh. Look at all of them, all the cult leaders. They all take the exact same book, the Holy Bible, and they use it to turn hundreds or even 1,000 people into. Jim Jones had 970 people, almost 1,000 people doing whatever the heck he wants them to do. Move thousands of miles away out of their home to another country. Why? Who were these people? They were desperate people who were trapped in their life, like every cult and every channel, like on Mark's channel. He can talk crap to these women that he does all the time, treat them like absolute shit. And you know what? They'll apologize and they'll keep coming back and apologizing. Why? Because these are the type of women that fall into these cults, and men. But you can particularly see it on Mark's channel and other people's where they're older women. And what are they? they'll take this abuse and they'll take this this nasty treatment because they're used to it and they think it's normal. And even there's people even in the chat that say, yeah, I was in a narcissistic marriage for 30 years and I finally got out. Well, right, you might have got out of that one, but you've fallen right back into the next one, and you're not seeing none of the signs because you think that when you say, oh, it's a beautiful day out, and he loses his mind because there is no such thing as a beautiful day, and rips you a new one for 30 minutes, and then you say, I'm sorry, I know there's no beautiful day. That means that you've been abused. You're apologizing because you said it's a beautiful day. Didn't even say that. She said it could have been a beautiful day if it had not been for the chemtrails. Well, he lost it for 30 minutes. In fact, he went on for, he's still going on a week later. What kind of person would say it's a beautiful day? There's no such thing as a beautiful day. I'm sorry. Wow. Any other healthy person, mentally healthy person would say, you know what? Really, I'm getting yelled at because I said it could have been a beautiful day. Bye. See ya. I don't need to be abused like that. Get bent. But no, they're like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it's a beautiful day. That's somebody that's been abused. The woman MacArthur publicly humiliated was one of MacArthur's churchy guys. Turned out he was abusing his wife and children. He got a 20-year sentence for the abuse, and MacArthur still has his back. Yep, that's a scumbag. As is Mark Hardy. Yep, still. That's another thing. The strong patriarchal system is control is falling apart. Fundamental Christians blame their problems on everyone else instead of looking in the mirror. Exactly. It's the world, John. It's the evil people. It's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. No. The woman was trying to leave and divorce the guy that was the leader of MacArthur's church. Yep. And he's a molester and everything else. She's trying to leave him. He's saying, no, go back. And even after he got convicted of molesting and all these other things, rotten things he does, he gets 20 years in prison. MacArthur still backs his guy up. Well, I still back the guy up. Yeah. Dirt balls. I mean, I don't know how people can't look at him. Take one look at him and see, you know, what kind of psychopath you're dealing with. Yeah. Yes, John. Why take any responsibility when you can blame everyone else? And that's what they do. And in the meantime, they're just going to wish every day to die. How come it's taken so long to die? We want to die. We're not saying we want to die. We want to be with Jesus. It's the same thing. Jesus said you have to die. You have to go into the ground and be buried in order to live. Okay, so you have to die. Don't say yeah. What's the difference between any other suicidal person and a Christian who's complaining every day that they just want out of here? I just want to die. Well, most people would be locked in a psych hospital and get a 72-hour hold to make sure that you're not going to kill yourself because that's mental illness. Yeah, he is a pile of crap. That's right. Only another pile of crap would recommend him. So are useless prophets. Yeah, they all are. That's why they promote each other and stick up for each other. They're pieces of crap. But mostly they like coming against each other because it is kind of a competitive business. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's MacArthur for you. But you know what? I don't know anybody really still trying to watch MacArthur except for Hardy. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like Leland Jones. Who's digging up Leland Jones' old videos from 3 years ago when he split town? You know, I mean, it's like digging up the 88 reasons why the rapture is going to be in 1988. It's like going to read that book and studying it. Like, why are you doing that? It's already a failed prophecy. Why would you study somebody who's already Anyway, unless you're trying to get ideas for your own false prophecies, which could be the case. Yeah. And they all are. And he's a part of the club. They all are. And again, you got useful idiots. Useful idiots that are promoting these people. I mean, like I said, can you imagine digging up Leland Jones' false prophecies and pitching those? Who does that? It's just like that kid. Remember in 2016, he was going to do. Everybody said that Rapture would be on Halloween in 2016. It was going to be on Halloween, October 30th or whatever day it is. Halloween. There's going to be a Halloween Rapture 2016, and when it didn't happen, that poor kid, Eli, whatever his name was, can't remember, but he was like 18-year-old kid. And you know what? He manned up, he apologized, and he left YouTube. How many other have done that? And you know what? These people in the 30s, 40s, mostly 50s and 60s that are doing this. Well, there was an 18-year-old young man who regretted that he did it. He was sorry, and he never came back. Never heard from him again. Young man. And what are the, none of the others do that. They just start out the next day with a new one. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that young man showed more character and honesty than all of them. Remember when he was going to Israel a few years ago and trying to pretend to be Leland Jones? Oh, yeah, that was a good one. He sets up the camera and backs up against some rocks and talks about he tells the two snakes in the kitchen story. Yeah, two snakes in a kitchen fell over like the Twin Towers or whatever. Oh, he thought he was Leland Jones. Oh, that was funny. Yeah, he did. I forgot about that, but it is true. Yeah. Yeah. He's standing. Yeah, memories. That was funny. It's funny because he checked into a hotel. He goes on the balcony. He points to this lake. He said, I don't know, it's some lake over there. It was the Sea of Galilee. He had no idea it was the Sea of Galilee. He said, I don't know, that's some lake over there. It was the Sea of Galilee, and he didn't even know. That was the story of his trips. Standing in Peter. In fact, he remember on the Sea of Galilee, they actually have well, they're claiming it's Peter's house. Peter's house on the Sea of Galilee, where all the disciples and Jesus and everybody, his house. Well, they put this Catholic church like right over the top of it on stilts. So they got like these stilts in this church up high. It's a Catholic church. And anyway, underneath the stilts or whatever, there's Peter's house, supposedly. They're claiming to be, it's just rocks, a foundation or whatever. Anyway, he goes there and he goes, you guys, this is a Catholic church or something. He didn't even know he was standing in Peter's house. He said, I think it's a Catholic church or something. Maybe that kid did have the rapture dream, but a dream is not necessarily right. That's right. You could all have rapture dreams. It doesn't mean a thing. I mean, I could have a dream I'm on a roller coaster or flying an airplane. It doesn't mean I'm going to do that. Yeah, but they think, yeah, rapture dream means it's for real. Remember back then I told you guys I never had a rapture dream. I felt a little ripped off, but I thought there must have been a reason. Yeah, I never had one, and now I know why. It's a bunch of bull crap. And I think maybe I didn't watch enough rapture dreams. You know what I mean? I think once you watch like hundreds of them, then it sinks in like, soaking up water in a piece of bread. You just get saturated, your brain's saturated with that, and then you just start dreaming rapture dreams. Why wouldn't you? They're all the same. You know what I mean? Really. Anyway, and I remember that guy when I first came on YouTube in 2016, this guy, had a channel. What was it called? And he had a little boy too. But anyway, all they did is played rapture dreams that people sent in. What was his name? He always looked sick. He looked like white and pasty and sweaty. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Just because it said they'll dream dreams. Well, it doesn't mean the dreams are coming true. Yeah. And it's weird because I just saw an anesthesiologist was talking about dreaming, and he says, well, if you're and how food and stuff affects your dreaming. So, but mostly like if you have really high blood sugar or you go to bed, well, what eating before you go to bed, yeah, you're gonna have dreams because your body is so whacked out from all the food you ate and then you went to bed that there's all kinds of chemical things happening and it's affecting your brain, and that's why people have those weird dreams, you know. And none of them ever account for anything. You know, it'd be the day. I can't even imagine the day where somebody would have a dream and it came exactly true, like they said. They come on YouTube, they'll tell you the dream, the whole thing, and it's very bizarre, but then it actually happens just like they said. Nah, I've never seen it. Never seen it. Here's what you get. You guys, I had a dream, and I was riding on a school bus with a mechanical bull, and as I was riding the bull, my head was hitting the ceiling, and the quarters all fell out. Okay, and did that come true? Were you riding on a bus on a mechanical bull, and the quarters? Well, no, but the stock market fell, and the stock market's like a bull. Right. Well, that's not a prophecy coming true. That's a delusion and mental illness. But how about it meant the stock market dropped 666 points. No, you see, a prophecy would be if you went to bed and you had a dream and you woke up and said, guess what, guys? I had a dream. I had a dream that the stock market dropped 666 points. And then it did, well, then you'd have something. But if you tell me that you're riding on a mechanical bull on a school bus and your head's hitting the ceiling, that's not the stock market dropping 666 points. By no stretch of the imagination. You counting that as a win? You putting a W on that? Really? Huh. I got the same video in my feed. Didn't watch it though. Which one? I forgot what I was saying. Which one? Oh, about the anesthesia guy? Yeah, I've watched a few of his videos about what happens when you're under anesthesia. Yeah. Well, anyway, but when you're sleeping and dreaming and stuff like that, that comes in your REM stage or whatever it is, and you're paralyzed. A 600-pound fat ass that smokes weed, does crack, and did acid is going to have weird dreams. That's right. And there's something about eating certain fatty foods and weird stuff that when you go to sleep, when you go into that REM stage, your body gets paralyzed at some point. There's only two muscles that are working: your diaphragm for breathing and your throat or whatever. I don't know. There's just so all your muscles shut down except the ones that make you breathe. And anyway, it does a number on your digestive system. Okay, so your body's crying out, "Hey, we can't digest here. There's only two muscles working: the throat and the diaphragm to breathe. What are we supposed to do with all this food?" And they're like, "I don't know. He wasn't supposed to eat before he went to bed, and the body doesn't know what to do." So there's spikes all over the place. There's all kinds of bad things happening, and that's why you have these dreams, and they're weird dreams and or terror. Scary dreams or weird dreams or bizarre dreams. It's because your body doesn't know what the heck to do. It's paralyzed. There's no digesting going on. And because you're supposed to be paralyzed, unconscious, except for your breathing. And so, yeah, that's your body. And if that happens every night, oh, dude, you got to change your lifestyle ASAP. And deja vu, which keeps changing from a man to a woman and a cake to donut. Yeah. And you know what else just keeps changing, Grace? Is when he said he would got in the back seat of that car and let somebody else drive it. It was a woman. And then he said it was God. And now it's just a person. They, them. Nah, if you're letting somebody else drive you, man, it's probably a demon. And you know what I mean? Why would you think God was a lady driver? Yeah. And people have deja vu. I just had deja vu the other day. I was sitting here and I don't even remember. It was something weird. Like I was giving my dog a piece of food or something. And I thought, wow, this is like deja vu. And Big Boy probably has sleep apnea. Yep. I haven't had deja vu since 2015. I used to have about 4 times a year. Yeah. Hey, Patrick. Good to see you still with us. Yeah. That deja vu, it happens. And I don't know if it's like a previous life, if your brain is connecting with another similar memory. I don't know, but I just had it. It's like I was in the exact same. It's like, man, I've done this before. And it was a weird thing. It was a weird thing. You know what I mean? That doesn't really happen. And it was so MH admits God could be yeah. Well, he must, because he said that he had a dream that a woman was driving the car and he was in the back seat, and he said, "Are you sure everything's okay?" And she said, "Oh yeah." And he said, "You got everything to make this car, you can drive this car good?" And she said, "Oh yeah." And then the next time he told the story, it was God driving. And then the next time he's told the story, it was a man or a person. Yeah. I personally believe God is just a spirit. He doesn't have a body. He doesn't have sex organs. He doesn't have reproductive organs. I think he's just a spirit. You know what I mean? But yeah, my experience with deja vu lasted all day. My dad was driving us in a town where none of us had ever been to, but I was able to give directions to the exact location we were going. Oh, that is weird. All day deja vu. It is weird because I mean, and you know when it's happening, it's true. There's nothing like it. I mean, not just like, okay, I'm handing my dog a piece of food or something. No, I'm sitting in the exact same place. I was facing the same direction. It was exact same, like something, like I had done this before. I can't remember what I was doing that was really different, but no. It's like it's like seeing something, a video of something, and then going there. Probably that Grace probably experience. Like seeing a video of driving through this town, maybe a long time ago, and now that you're driving there, you reckon it. Oh yeah, I've been. Mhm. That's kind of how I felt. Like, oh wow, I've done this before. I've been here before. Even had the exact same feeling out of that I had when that I remembered. It was just weird. It is crazy. It's weird. That is weird. But if you had deja vu and you were telling the story over and over, it would be the same story every time. I agree. I believe God is consistent and reliable and doesn't keep changing the rules. Yeah, me neither. And I don't think God puts one human above another in any way. And you know what, John? I was just asking Grace, I think yesterday or whatever. I said, what's the difference between God sending the Israelites to kill all the people and take over the town and live there. And what's the difference between that and the white man coming to United States, to America, and killing all the Native Americans because they want the land? God thinks it should be their land. So what's the difference? The Israelites going to kill all the town after town after town, every man, woman, and child, so they can live there? And what's the difference between that and what the white man did to the natives in America? What's the difference? Well, according to this book, it was God wanted them to do that. Really? It's genocide. Genocide. And you know what? Genocide. So a group of people who had been in Egypt for 400 years. Okay, imagine this. Now, say a bunch of people from France came over 400 years ago. If people from France came here 400 years ago and came to the United States, do you think 400 years later you can gather these people up and send them back to France? What people? They've mixed with everybody. Nobody knows. Maybe my great-great-grandmother was part half French. And no, there are no purebreds after 400 years. As a matter of fact, Joseph himself married a Canaanite woman and had Canaanite children, and now and Manasseh and Ephraim are half Egyptians, and they are parts of the tribe. Oh, wait a minute. What? I thought it had to be pure. I thought God told you not to marry any Canaanite women. No, there's no difference. Blood was shed because somebody thought they deserved to live there instead of you. So we're going to kill you, your wife, your children, your livestock, everybody. We're going to kill everybody and take over this town because God told us to. Because you're not one of us. You have a different God, and we're going to kill you because of your religion. What's the difference? There's no difference between that and what the white man came over here and did to the Native Americans. Kill them, and what's ever left, run them off. Because we want to be here. No difference. It's genocide. And more than genocide, it's killing people because they have a different God than you. Really? So we're all supposed to assume that Team A had the right God and Team B had the wrong God, right? Based on what? Well, this book here. Oh, the book that tells... Anyway, I could go all night on this and I won't. Anyway, yeah. Religiosity is a great way to spread racism. It is. It is. And it's a divide and conquer. You know what somebody told me a long time ago? Religion is division. And it is. What better way to divide people? Not only different religions, but even in your own house, Christian to Christian. Because what is the motto of Christianity? It's going to be a sword to divide you from your family. And you're going to hate every one of them. Your mom, your dad, your husband, your wife, your children, your aunt, your uncle. You got to hate them all. And I'm going to come to with this sword to divide you from your family. Like, wait a minute. What? I thought we were supposed to have families and stay together and have each other's back. Yeah, religion is division. Yep. Yep. Tony from Quebec up there. Whatever his name was, Time to Wake Up, or whatever the heck, I can't remember his name now. He always said it, religion is division. And because you know why? He'd always have to yell that because people were fighting about religion on his channel. Yeah, religion is division. It's totally division. And it's probably what it's invented for. You know what I mean? Anyway. My dog's having fun on the couch. Laying upside down, kicking his legs and chewing on a bone. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, I'll wrap it up, get off of here, and say goodnight. And yeah. You know what? I would have never known anything had I not studied it myself. There's nobody could have told me this. Nobody could have told me any of this. I would have thought they were hellbound heathen. Then I'd picture them in flames saying, I'm sorry, I didn't believe Christians. Yeah. Anyway, right. Ask a Christian, what happens if you stop being a Christian? Yeah. So anyway, kind of blackmailed into religion, huh? Because if you don't, you're going to be burned forever. That's blackmail, you guys. Anyway. All right. Well, I want to say goodnight to everybody. Thanks for coming in. Good to see Grace. Good to see John. Good to see Patrick Polimino. Thanks for being here with us, too. And everybody who's with us, thanks for being with us. John, Grace, and anybody else. You're listening in on the replay. Thanks for listening in on the replay. And anyway, again, happy birthday to John. Belated birthday. And quick, jump back into that box. That's right. You better get in that box or you're going to get burned. You hear me? You're going to get burned, all you. Forever. Not just a little bit or for one day, for a whole bunch of days. Forever. Nothing beats your own studies and your own experience. That's right. Your own common sense. That's right. It doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. Boy, oh boy. You know, and that impending doom is not good for a person either. Always feeling like the doom is coming. It's right around the door. Death lies at the door every day. And not just for you, but for everybody you've ever known, you ever met, and you ever loved, and everything else. Yep, Grace says, John says good night to you. And Grace says, thank you, Mama Cat. Everyone, love, prayers, blessing you all. Happy belated birthday to John. Hope you enjoyed your special day. Me too. All right. Well, thanks for coming in. Love you guys. God bless you all. And glory to God. And shalom. And shalom means peace.